Auto, Backlight, studio and live, compare and contrast. I love making these videos because she is so uniquely expressive in the studio and uniquely expressive live. Ooh. Love the vintage electric sound. Clean, single coil. Those guitars are so clean, yet so full. Ooh, she's so slidey. Those dramatic changes in placement that make her so animated and full of character. I love that. Most people would be so ashamed of those sounds coming out of their mouths, but she's intentionally embracing all the extreme fringy things with her voice right off the bat in this song. How dark. Whoa. Trademark squeaks. Oh, that compression. There's a nice blend of compression and fry there that's getting her that nice, it's a scream. It's a pitch scream. Yeah! So that comes from adding compression. Yeah! I'm increasing the pressure by holding back air and adding more support over that note. And then I'm letting my voice falter a little bit right around my vocal break. Yeah! And then you get that combination of grit and total fry, total fall apart-iness. So nasal, so playful. And a nice mixed voice coordination too. Not it's a thinner, almost more ginger-like sound. It's not as heavy as she is sometimes. Low and wide and whiny, low, wide and whiny. Again, those character arcs over phrases makes her so interesting. Not a lot of vocalists do it as blatantly and as extreme and embraced as she does. I gotta hear that again. Notice how she shrieked or sighed into that distorted engagement? That was pretty awesome. And she almost growled into that nice or whatever that sound is. So it's a lower engagement in the throat, and then she raises that compression, that holding back of air, higher in her throat. That's sort of what's happening with the pitch behind her. If you'd like to sing with true freedom, like Ado does, but you're not quite sure where to start, click the link below in the pinned comment or video description, and I'll help you pull things out of your voice you never knew were there. The course is free. those 2 octaves on the nath behind there. That's pretty awesome too. They're very synced. I wonder if that's even an effect where she's singing it once. It is layered, so she's singing it multiple times, but the pitch that's an octave higher than the primary voice we hear, I wonder if that's synthetic. Certainly sounds like it. Although she's that good, she can make her voice sound fake. I really like how they dried up the production. It went from very layered, very electronic sounding to raw and right in the middle, and where you can reach out and like pet her voice. She has that. I say that a lot about her performances. Oh, down into fry. Cool use of layered head voice there. La, 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 la. Have falsetto-y. Cool. Hear the difference in her vocal weight there? It's not just about different pitches. It's about a completely different posture, allowing her to really embody the textures of 2 completely different vocalists, even though she's just one voice. Oh, yeah! The instrumentation is great, but her vocal performance just propels me into the song. Yeah, I love how gritty she is there. All the slides and the layers, the gang vocals coming behind us, getting us from behind, and then that very present main line. Oh, there's so many things going on here that draw you in. That's hard rock from the 90s right there, man. Oh, the funky slap bass. Rah, rah. Even her breaths are musical and rhythmic. That's another thing I've noticed as I've gotten more and more into Ado's style, is how everything is so intentional, yet feels whimsical. Woo-hoo-hoo! A key change! And that little shriek as she's going into that gritty note there. Oh, just... What's so interesting about this song is the primary theme is releasing your rage, like throwing off your inhibitions and releasing your rage. I very much hear that in the arranging and in the whimsy of the song itself. There's an anger, there's an aggression to it, there's rage, but it's also like this, oh, yep, that's what we're gonna do! I love that. The fusion of the musical environment and the lyrical content is just perfect. Do you make faces when you listen to Ado? I always do. Beautiful arranging. The soul bass note. Beautiful. Oh, that was awesome. Now let's check out the live performance. The size and scale of these shows is, I really hope I get to see her live someday. Look at that. The guitar reminds me of later era Pearl Jam in some ways, but the way that she's hijacked it for her own voice. I don't know, let me know if any of you other people who are familiar with Pearl Jam and Ado agree. That was an interesting, you're like catching your voice with the compression. So the same technique that I talked about in the studio version where you're holding a note and adding compression, she's like, it's like she's lifting something heavy and stopping and letting only air come through. It almost sounds like a gag. She's using it really cool here. And she goes up in pitch. Fry. Really good false chord engagement there. She's doing different things to encapsulate this live performance, but she's no less engaged. She's putting out things that were not there in the studio recording that make it more interesting to hear her live, and so cool. False chords. Oh, oh. What? Gotta hear that again. So unhinged. So she goes right back into a more controlled, although not that controlled, the melody, the pitches, but she is so abandoned and so carefree. This is a prerequisite, maybe the prerequisite to singing like Ado. You have to be abandoned and not care about hitting notes, especially in certain places. Listen to that. I mean, it's if it wasn't contextualized in all the other things, you'd be like, what is going on here? But because she's so masterful with blending it together with her other approaches, it's all about being dynamic. Or how she leaned into that note and distorted and compressed it and then cleaned it up. She's not only doing that in this case, in this live case, for flavor and flair, but also for budgeting, because is more strenuous on your voice, obviously, than being clean. But it doesn't mean, because she has great technique, it doesn't mean that she can't still use that. She's just floating between lots of different techniques for entertainment purposes, but also because it's part of what helps her save her voice for long shows. I love that we don't hear a bunch of alterations. I mean, I don't hear any pitch correction. I hear a raw live vocal, a raw live energy. I love that, especially for a show this size. It'd be very easy for them to try to mask it with pitch correction and all, backing tracks and, lip sync help tracks, but they're not doing that. I don't hear that. Hear how she faded her true voice out and leaned into those upper constricted structures, the arytenoid cartilage, the false chords, the pitch went away and the came out. That's so cool. So cool. No! So old-fashioned sounding. Kennedy comes right up here too. Ooh, ah. She leaned in and then released. Rhythmic exhale. Beautiful guitar lines there. Beautiful. Is she moving around in her bell-shaped cage? That's cool. Gives people more of an upfront view for how many people there are there. I've been to shows that are this big, and if you're in the back, you just feel completely overwhelmed and like, I'd rather be watching this on video. But the fact that she's getting that structure out there around different parts, that's really neat engagement. Hear how she leaned into her voice, let her voice crack, and then leaned back into it? Right, she's like really targeted on a pitch and then abandons out of it and then comes back in. That's a neat little journey just on one note. I hope you feel inspired to try some of these inflections and articulations that Ado does just out of pure curiosity. I do. Those sound even better live, as far as I'm concerned, than they did in the studio. Her engagement and the placement of those screams, that is awesome, awesome, awesome. They get roasted. Right? It starts with a fairly clean note, and then she just abandons into that voiceless realm. Master bass playing too. Yeah. Cool scream. So that's a mixed voice. She's all the way up there throwing it sort of thing, but she's letting her voice crack where it would normally not necessarily crack. I mean, it's as simple as something like that. Of course, she's got a higher voice. She's a female, so her vocal structures are different shapes and sizes, but that's it. It's an abandoned sort of yelp right to the point where her voice cracks, and then she leans in further. Ah! That's a growl. Lower engagement. As opposed to the higher engagement that I've been demonstrating so far. It almost sounds like she started laughing a little bit there. She's so free with her voice. Or maybe temporary running out of breath. That's the other thing I like, is she's not afraid to push herself to her limits. She's not afraid of what might happen if she goes too far. She just lets herself go too far, and that's part of the charm of her voice. That is an epic key change. And hear how when she engages with that scream, she's big and into it, and then she comes out. She budgets. She arcs her performances. If she was trapped in that screamy sound for a length of time, she would not have enough energy to put on 2-hour shows. Same with those sighs. Oh, that's a budgeting mechanism as well as a creative texture. And it's great singers who can take things that are necessary and make them compelling from an entertainment standpoint and from a musical standpoint. So awesome. So on point. You don't hear a lot of live performances that are that on point. Oh, wow. Be sure to check out the many other Ado singing analysis videos that I have done. And again, if you would like help pulling things out of your voice, being free with it, and discovering what it can truly do, click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free course. We'll see you there.